Welcome to Practical Paranoia. Passwords. We all know we need them, right? But do you know that every password can be broken? Every one. You start by typing an A. If that doesn't work, try B, then C. Eventually, the correct string of characters will get you into the system. It's only a matter of time. Way back in your great-great-great-grandfather's day, the only way to break into a personal computer was by manually attempting to guess the password. Given that manual attempts could proceed at approximately one attempt per second, an 8-character password became the standard. With a typical character set of 24, that's A through Z, this created the possibility of 24 to the 8th, or over 100 billion different combinations. As the thought that anyone could ever break such a password was ridiculous, your ancestors became complacent. This is funny when you consider that research has shown that the overwhelming majority of passwords can simply be guessed. These passwords include name of spouse, name of children, name of pets, home address, phone number, social security number, and the main character names from Star Trek and Star Wars. Would I kid you not? Most computer users are unaware that what they thought was an obscure and impossible to break password could be cracked in a matter of minutes. It gets worse. A while back, the first hacker wrote the first password breaking software. Assuming it may have taken 8 CPU cycles to process a single attack event on a computer with a blazing, for its time, 16 kilohertz CPU. That would equate to about 2,000 attempts per second. IT directors took notice. This meant that a password could be broken in less than 2 years. So down came the edict from the IT director that we must create obscure passwords. Strings that include upper and lowercase, numeric and symbol characters. But in many cases, this actually was a step backward. Since a computer user couldn't remember his password was, 8 ampersand lowercase d, uppercase C, percent sign, uppercase Z, pound sign 2, the user would often manually record the password. The urban legend of leaving a password on a sticky note under a user's keyboard? Well, in my 25 years of IT support, I've seen it more than 100 times. Come forward to the present day. A current quad-core Intel i7 with freely available password cracking software can make over 10 billion attempts per second. Create an army of infected computers called a botnet to do your dirty work, and you can likely hit over 100 trillion attempts per second. What does this mean for us? The typical password using upper and lowercase, number and symbol can now be cracked with the right tools in less than 2 minutes. If you're using only a single computer to do the crack, it may take a week. Don't believe me? You can test this yourself at the Haystack website. Opening up your web browser and going to www.grc.com/haystack.com, we enter a website where you can put in any password you like. Here we have what would be considered a fairly complex password, 8 characters long, and yet as we scroll on down, it does the calculations on how long it would take for a computer to crack this. Using a single computer, about 900 centuries. However, if I have a botnet army to support me, or perhaps I've spent a few dollars and rent some time on an Amazon web server, this can be done in under 8 hours. If I have a massive botnet, and there are botnets out there with millions of computers acting as slaves, or I can rent a few 100,000 CPU cycles from Amazon, it gets done in 27 seconds. If we change our strategy to use longer passwords, we can make it take too long to break into our system, and the bad guys will simply move on to somebody else. But you say it's tough enough to remember 8 characters, impossible to remember more. That's true, but only if we keep doing things the way we've always done them before. Since virtually all such attacks are now done by automated software, it's only an issue of length of password, not complexity. So, make it a passphrase that's easy to remember. In my case, I have a dog that I love called Rocky. My password might be Rocky has brown eyes, which at 100 trillion attempts per second will take, longer than the age of the universe to break. How long should you make your password or your passphrase? As of this writing, Microsoft's cybersecurity chief recommends a minimum of 14 characters. Cisco recommends a minimum of 24. My own recommendation to clients is a minimum of 14 in an easy to remember, easy to enter phrase. In addition to password length, it's critical to use a variety of passwords. In this way, should the bad guys somehow gain access to your Facebook password, it can't be used to access your bank account. Yes, pretty soon you're going to have a drawer full of passwords for all of your different accounts, emails, social networks, financial institutions, etc. How to keep all of them organized and easily accessed amongst all of your various computers and devices? Well, more on that in the next section. Thank you. And look for our latest publication, Practical Paranoia, Windows Security Essentials, the first and only easy, comprehensive, and step-by-step guide to hardening your Windows 10 computer. Available on Amazon and all of your favorite booksellers, starting July 29th, 2015.